which could mean World War III, nuclear missiles being deployed. Do you think about some of those downsides? I mean, I always think of that documentary Fog of War, where McNamara talks about how close we were. And I think he had a conversation 20, 30 years later with Castro himself. And he said, would you have really deployed, nuclear missiles, even knowing that the death and destruction? And they said, yes, I would have. And I think that was his final warning in that movie, that this is the biggest existential threat to humankind that no one pays attention to.
Well, I think you're right. And I do think people are paying attention. The Chinese announced a long time ago, no first use. I think Mr. Putin has made it very clear that he will not use or employ a nuclear weapon unless there is evidence for our use of it or someone else's use of it against them, or the imminent readiness on our part to use nuclear weapons. Now, we had effectively what was a no first use doctrine. And in March of last year, President Biden announced that he was changing it and said that we now reserve the right to use nuclear weapons at will against someone who uses chemical weapons, biological weapons, or even very large and powerful conventional weapons. In other words, he's opened Pandora's box, which I think is sheer, unadulterated lunacy. Again, this is a manufactured war, a manufactured crisis, a manufactured conflict. This is not something that Russia set out to execute. If that had been the case, what you would have seen on 22 February of last year would have been a massive offensive by 1 million Russian troops that would have rolled right through Ukraine without regard to the loss of human life or the loss of property or anything else, and ended up immediately on the Polish border. That didn't happen because it was never the intention. It's sort of interesting, the same people who insist, well, Putin wants to rebuild the Soviet empire, are the same people saying, well, the Russians are incompetent, stupid, and unprepared to fight. So which is it? Which position are you going to take? Now, I don't think the Russians are stupid, incompetent, but I do think they had no intention of fighting a major war, and they only maintained the military power they needed for defense. And that turned out to be inadequate. So now we really are going to see reemerge, it's already begun, a powerful Russian military establishment on the European continent, in Eurasia. Far more powerful and far more capable than the Chinese forces. We keep talking about China, but the Chinese militarily are midgets compared to the Russians. And the Chinese will admit that. That's one of the reasons the Chinese are there hat in hand to try and buy the technology and the capabilities the Russians produce. So we've created the very thing we said we didn't want. And there's the danger. Do we have some fool who thinks, well, we can use just a tactical nuclear weapon? I always love that. What's a tactical nuclear weapon? Well, it's 5 kilotons or less. What does this suggest? Well, it suggests that, we just want to use a small weapon to make a point. This is insane. Because your opponent is going to say, well, they're using a nuclear weapon. That means we better use our arsenal quick, or we risk losing it. The use of any nuclear weapon, under any circumstances, it will produce Armageddon. We need to understand that. And I don't see any evidence for that on Mr. Putin's agenda at all. But I hear people in Washington say stupid things about it regularly. There are still foolish, deranged people here who believe you can fight and win a nuclear war. Impossible. It's not going to happen.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real. and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.